Hey guys, it's Amber. Welcome back to my December daily. I'm getting ready to work on day 11. For day 11, I took a online ornament painting class, and I originally was kind of inspired by the shapes of the ornaments. Sorry, my cat was on my desk, and now I've got little kitten hairs everywhere. I was originally inspired by the ornaments being hexagon here. These are some of my finished projects. And I dug out all of my hexagon pieces that are from the hexagon story kit with Allie, and I thought I would kind of build something with hexagons. And so I pulled out like these wood frames and these like wood plastic, these plastic transparency pieces. And I even had like a pleather piece from an old kit. And then as I was thinking about it, I remembered this frame pattern paper that came in either the main kit or the extra papers. I don't remember at this point anymore, but I thought it might be kind of fun to play with that. So I'm trying to find some pieces to help fill in things. I don't have that many photos, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but I have a photo of like getting started on the project. So I'm gonna cut the frame out and put this behind. And I'm gonna do the same with this one instead of trying to trim it to match because they're uneven. So this is like the paints and the ornaments and like my brushes and markers lined up. And this is like my paint palette. I'm thinking about adding one of these woven stickers from last year's Paisley press kit to the middle. Not 100% sure. I might find chipboard instead. On this one here, I had some leftover pieces from a Paisley press card that I cut down to a 4x4 that I had kept just in case. So I'm going to try to maybe fill that in with just a little bit of pattern paper just to help, you know, give out a little bit of pattern. I'm honestly gonna take my craft knife and cut out a lot of these and back these from behind. So I think that this Making Spirits Bright die cut that's 2 inches will fit just inside here. And that will help pull in some of these like nice teal colors over here. I've got this Holly Jolly Goodness that I think I'm probably gonna use because I pulled it out like 12 times. I think I'm gonna put this here in the circle part. I've got a 3x4 transparency pulled out from the Paisley press set. It says, "Oh, what fun," 3 different times. So I'm thinking I might put that up here, and I'm going to layer it on top of this pattern paper. So it'll kind of be mimicking this. And I think I also want to put some blue pattern paper under this wooden Color Cast Designs tree. I'm also thinking about layering a little bit of transparency over it as well. So it would be like the paper, the transparency, and then the tree, just to give myself some dimension and layers so it's not too flat. And then I pulled out this tag from an old tag kit with Allie just to help pull in some pink. It's got some pink and red, so I would use that kind of as like a piece as well behind one of the frames. And then I also printed out 2 little journaling blocks. So this one here I'm going to cut out. I'll probably hold it up to the light and trace it so I can get a fairly decent cut. And then so that one will go here, and then this one will go here. So the only 2 I'm left with that I'm still struggling on spots for are this one and this one. This one's probably going to be where my number goes. I'm struggling on that. I'm considering maybe using this chipboard, but I think it's going to be too bold. Like the teals match over here, but nothing over here is really teal. Like these are teal, but it's not the same color teal. So I kind of need to get everything cut out and put down before I really make a decision on that. If not, I might consider going with a gold number. They just feel too small. And I was kind of thinking about numbering these just for fun, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have one of these Magic is Something We Make stars from the stars. I was kind of thinking about layering that on here, but it kind of felt like I had a lot of words going on. So I'm not sure I was going to add that. And I also pulled these out. These were a digital freebie from Allie last year. I had printed out some extras and different materials. And I thought about trying to see if I could utilize wood. Sorry, I'm totally yawning. I don't think that I'm going to at this point. All of them would be either too big to fit. I don't feel like I'm making another one, or like they just don't really match anything that I have really going on here. Even like this is like vellum with a weight. mink foil, it just doesn't really go with what I've got going on here. So still working a little bit on what I want to do to help tie this side in to match a little bit. Or I also considered putting the number here and still trying to find 2 more embellishments. I know on Allie's page, she had done, God, I got little hairs everywhere. Sorry, it's driving me crazy. Allie's page, she had added like a little Santa, and that's not necessarily something that would match, but they are ornaments. So it might be something fun to add, like more trees. And then the other thing that I thought would be fun is, I forgot when I took the photos of these, I forgot to take them once I had added ribbon, but I did think it could kind of be cool if maybe I added like a teeny little piece of ribbon here now and kind of like maybe looped it sort of like that so it looked 3-dimensional, and maybe added a little brad. So it looked like, you know, it had a ribbon, and I wouldn't necessarily do it for all of them, I don't think. But it's something that I was considering. Like this one, you know, I could add the ribbon sort of like I did in real life, you know, to make it look more realistic or pop off the page. So that's something I was thinking about doing. So at least I would add a little something. So that's where we are at. I just want to get started on cutting out some of these squares. I'm going to just be using a craft knife and then just my little tiny cutting match because I don't need a really big one on my desk. And I am excited to get started. Okay friends, so I'm not going to show you every single frame that I cut out, but I do kind of jump you through most of them, so this is going to be pretty quick through here, but and it looks like this is real time, but it is sped up. I'm using a Fiskars craft knife to trim these out. I went just on the inside of the smallest part of the gold frame there that I could, and I think I ended up cutting out all but like maybe 3. I'd have to look, but I wanted to be able to mat everything from behind, and it went really smoothly. I was pretty happy, and I used a variety of 1/8 and 1/4 inch double-sided sticky tapes. Sometimes, like for the photos here, I left some of the paper around the outside of the photo, and it was easier just to attach the sticker tape to the photo because it was oversized. But for the other pieces, I mainly used adhesive near the frame and then attached whatever I was using, like a die cut or pattern paper or transparency down. But I decided to go ahead and do the 2 photos first, and then from there I would keep working on the die cuts. But like I said, I'm not going to show you every single piece. I'm just mainly showing you the photos and how easy it actually went. I was intimidated, might not be the right word for this pattern paper, but didn't think that I would be able to really fill it because I didn't have that many photos. I've seen several other people who have used this and had several photos. I'm only using 2 photos and then different pattern papers and things, and really happy with how it came out. I punched the holes there, which I'm actually going to end up changing at the end off camera, because I realized where this is going to need to go in the album. I'm going to cut off 1/2 inch of the pattern paper where the holes are. I'm going to reattach the holes to the other side because I want this to be on the left side of the album with the holes on the right and the photo on the right hand side so that it's a 2-page spread. But I didn't want to flip it upside down and have some of these look like they were upside down. So I'm using some of this pattern paper here, but I didn't have a piece quite wide enough to cover the frame opening, so I'm using like 2 pieces side by side there. It's just kind of funny how, working with it. So there I'm using that 3x4 transparency in the window. So I've got the window opening cut out, of course. Then I'm taping down the transparency, and then I'm using some Heidi Swap pattern paper from her hometown holiday collection. That was her 2022 December collection, in a blue that matches the die cut that I picked. I think I showed that in the intro. I'm making this video over a couple days, so at this point I'm not quite sure what I talked about in my intro. But the color works pretty close together, so I was really happy with that. I'm just trying to find a little bit of the distress part of the pattern to look good, and then just cutting that out and I'm using a lot of layers here with the same technique over and over again, of course. Here I'm working with my vellum transparency sticker paper. So I held it up to a light that's at my desk so that I could trace the frames. I tried to do it lightly with pencil, but it kind of came out thicker than I intended. So then I cut it out and I was trying to erase the pencil marks, but it kind of was smearing for some reason. So I got rid of that pattern paper, or not really pattern paper, but the rest of that sticker paper, and I pulled up another piece so that I could erase without any like already previously smeared pencil marks there, and it came out pretty well. I'm really happy with how this came. I think when Allie did her page, she used transparency, which it's the same kind of look, but I didn't want to have to staple anything down or have to adhere it in any way or stitch it. I really like the look of the sticker paper. It's pretty seamless. And I was able to stick with the wonky shape of the frame fairly well with tracing it with the pencil. So it's not perfect by any stretch, but pretty close. So here on the one on the bottom left there, it got a little higher than I had wanted. So I went through my stash and I found a little piece of chipboard that has an ornament on it just to help cover the bottom a little bit, make it feel a little bit more balanced. So I'm just going to keep working slowly, frame by frame, as I go. I could have just kept like chopping them all up, but in case I changed my mind or made a different decision, I didn't want everything cut out. So there I'm working on the star transparency. That is an American Crafts gold star. I'll try to make sure I link that for you from scrapbook.com. And then I've got more of that Heidi Swap pattern paper. I really like the way that created a visual triangle. And then there I had already picked out a wooden tree from Color Cast Designs. But then I wanted to double check my stash one last time and see if like cork or something would look better. And I decided to go ahead and stick with that wooden tree. And then I was playing with the teal chipboard numbers, and it matched some of the paint colors and the ornaments, but it just did not really go well with the items on the left hand side there. So while I was still trying to make some decisions, I went ahead and pulled out some gold numbers. I was deciding between the ones from the 2022 kit or the ones from the 2021 kit, but I really love the ones from the 2021 collection. So in the meantime, I've skipped ahead, changed days, changed outfits, and I've cut that frame out and added some more pink Heidi Swap pattern paper from that same hometown holiday collection, and used some red chipboard thickers with like red glitter. And then I'm also adding a couple chipboard stars here and some brads just to add a little bit more fun look to the ornament photo page, just so it's not so boring. I'll leave you with a live look. Okay guys, so I am finished completely. I just have to get this in the album and get the holes punched and this trimmed, but really happy with how this came out. Ended up adding some pink here with the red, another pattern paper to mimic that from crepe paper, and I thought that was a really good decision because I've got the triangle blue with the gold, the pinks, the greens, the journaling, and the photos, and it felt really good. And then this was the only like circle, so I thought it felt really good and balanced. So really happy. And then added these fun little chipboard stars with the numbers, and then the little brads, which is a throwback to something I did in my album from 2021. So really happy with how it came out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon for day 12. Bye for now.